Now, something very exciting, and celebrity chef Richard Corrigan is offering one frontline healthcare worker the chance to win their very own wedding of a lifetime at the Virginia Park Lodge in Cavan. We're going to find out more. He's also raising money for the St Vincent de Paul charity, and Richard joins us on the line. Richard, how are you, sir?
Very, very well. Thank you very much for having me on.
So this sounds like an amazing prize for somebody. How did all this come about?
Well, it's very simple. I was driving through Holborn in London with my son, and my son turned around. In London, we work with Under One Sky, which is a charity to feed the homeless. And we've been supplying bread to Angela Hartnett's Camberwell Centre for the last 4 months. And my son turned around and he said, "What are you doing in Ireland?" And I'm not joking you. I nearly stuck the car to the high street in Holborn, and I went, "That's a really good question, Rich. It's all London-based." And he said, "You really should do something for the health workers in Ireland." And, you know, my wife works with NHS in London. My sister works with NHS in London. My other sister, Anne-Marie, works in Letterkenny Hospital and very much on the front line. My cousins are either in the NHS or in the health service in Ireland, north and south. And I just thought, you know what, come on, let's do a wedding. Let's do a wedding of your dreams in Virginia Park Lodge. You know, it's a really high-end product we do here. It's very special. We only do 60 weddings a year. And let's give one of those great days, or two of those great days, to the health worker, basically in the south, or NHS in the north. And they will have a wedding of their dreams. And of course, I've worked with Trussell Trust in the UK, which is food bank organisation, and I thought St Vincent de Paul. I asked Trussell Trust really, what's their equivalent really of help really, and they said St Vincent de Paul does an amazing work in Ireland, and I said that's it. Let's do it with Vincent de Paul, and let's put it up there. We've raised 32,000 already. I'll be honest with you, and money that will just go into families shopping baskets. That's where it goes, really, just to help families out here. And frontline worker, you know, kitchen help, anyone on the front line. It is nurses, doctors, helpers, cleaners, everyone will be in this prize. And really, I think you only have to go on and ask about a wedding in Virginia Park Lodge to realise what we really are giving away. And to the value of around 90,000 for 2 days, really. And I mean, we have some extraordinary offers out there as well. A jeweler, one of Dublin's top jewelers, has offered us 2 wonderful rings if that's part of the course. So everyone Monday has agreed to play for the you know, I mean, it really is. It's everyone. This is a combination of everyone getting involved. Suppliers, suppliers, bands, music, wine merchants, Cabo. One of Ireland's finest merchants has offered to do all the Grand Cru champagne and the wines. So it really is a couple of days that are going to be very special for the winner.
And of course, the food is going to be amazing because you're going to be on hand to help create the menu for the big day as well, aren't you?
I will be here on your day. Whoever wins this beautiful prize, I will be here to make sure you have one great party.
So if people want to get involved or nominate somebody, how do they do that?
I think you just go on the website of Vincent de Paul, basically, and you can just it's I think it's €10 or 10 quid a ticket. It's nothing. It really is nothing, and all that money goes to the charity. There's no cut going anywhere. There's no middle people involved. I'm notorious for asking charities for their accounts. If they ask me for anything. So I always say, send me in your accounts, and I always look at head office costs, and I look at what goes to the bottom line. And for us to give anything, it has to be 90% has to go on the bottom line. And it's great because there's tough times. There's tough times everywhere. Tough times in London, tough times in Belfast, tough times in Dublin. And this is a time for us all to use, you know, our spirit, our real great hospitality spirit to make something happen for a great charity.
So obviously over the past few months with lockdown and everything, things have been difficult for everybody, but how was lockdown for you and your business?
Well, you know, it's the first couple of months, I'm not going to break any bones. I wear everything on my sleeve. You ask me a question, I give you the right answer. I thought it was very hard. I spent my life building my business in London. and to have to close it all in a couple of days and to mothball it. It was very difficult indeed. But after a couple of months, 6 weeks, I said, what are we doing? You can't sit here and just whinge and moan. So basically we got involved with Under One Sky in central London, because you have to remember, in London, all charities more or less closed down. Everything closed down. The homeless couldn't get a bottle of water. There was nothing. There was nowhere to go. There was no cafes. There was no people to give a pound or two, or a little bit of aid. All the outreach programs in King's Cross had closed down, and Camden had closed down. So Under One Sky stepped in and basically done an amazing job. And our wonderful church right across in Piccadilly, we talked to the Reverend there, and basically what could we do. And she put us under, she told us to Under One Sky. She organised everything for us. And basically Bentley's then and Corrigan's done the backup to Under One Sky. And we fed thousands of people. And it's been a humbling time to see, we're talking about people in wheelchairs with wheels not working. Honestly, we've seen it all. And it's really changed my view on an awful lot of stuff, out there. So, St. Vincent de Paul, an amazing charity, does some great work. And hopefully, we can get the next 7 days, we can get just the wheels rolling. This wasn't about me. I'm going to be frank with you. And I love the word when you say celebrity. I do the Great British Menu, I'll be honest with you. I've represented, of course, Northern Ireland on all those winning occasions, 4 of them, I'll be honest with you. So, you know what I mean? So it's about time now you get your wallets out and give a little bit of money to this great cause, yeah? And hopefully next year we'll be on the Great British Menu to bring it back to the north again, that Gold Cup winner, yeah?
So do you enjoy the whole celebrity status then?
No, I don't, because I think celebrity, let's be honest with you, I'm a hard-working farmer's son. I love the idea of a little bit of profile to help build our business. There's no question about that. I'm canny on things like that. But the whole thing of going around polishing your lips and putting on a big false smile, it's not really me. When I look sad, I look sad. When I look happy, I'm happy. I don't like playing the game of everything is surreal and everything is just wonderful, And as for endorsements, I never managed to get anyone foolish enough to give me money for an endorsement. So the idea of putting my name on pots and pans is no, it's not going to happen. I think the Great British Menu has been wonderful. It's been wonderful profile. I mean, from doing it 15 years ago, I think when I opened Bentley's, it was an amazing thing to do. And let's be honest with you. I mean, we had one of the judges trying to convince me to go on to do the next one. We've won it a few times. You know what I mean? The worst thing about the Great British Menu is competing. It's difficult.
Yeah,
it really is difficult, and being a kind of the judge on the over the last few years, I've seen the best of chefs completely make the most appalling errors because it's nerves, the stress, all those cameras in the studio. Honestly, you forget things are in the oven. You're trying to talk to the camera, and your souffle is burning. You know what I mean, basically. So it's been good, a really good run, you could say.
Now, the big career highlight must have been getting your Michelin stars.
Yeah, very interesting you say that. 1995 with Gordon Ramsay. Gordon got 1 in Aubergine. I got 1 in Fulham Road. He was doing around 20 covers. I was doing around 90 covers. You know what I mean, really? I caught him looking at my menu late one night, I'll be honest with you, because I'm a type of guy that only sleeps for 3 hours. And I was inside having a glass of wine and I heard a motorbike go up Fulham Road, and I thought, oh, there's Ramsay out for the night. And he parked it outside the restaurant, and there he was reading my menu. And I opened the door at 3:30, and I said, could I help you? And ever since then, we've had a lot of fun, And he's gone on to amazing success, really, in America and everywhere else, But, I like the soil, I like the land. We have an amazing grow operation here in Virginia, County Cavan. We supply our London restaurants. And, it's a big vegetable farm with the most beautiful venue you could ever imagine on the place. So we're not just geared to basically a wedding factory. We allow 68 weddings was the maximum we ever done here, and that's all we want to do. And basically we have the farm then. We have more workers on our farm than we have in the house. So basically they supply everything. at the moment. And we've been supplying basically food banks up in Belturbet, I'll be honest with you. There's a food hub up there that distributes food to lots of families that have found they're just not as great as they have been, that's for sure. So nothing is going to waste. Everything is going into food banks that we're producing at the moment.
So tell us about the venue, the Virginia Park Lodge. There's lots of history because it dates back to the 18th century, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes back to late 1600s. Lord Hertford, the tailors, the surveyors of Ireland. Fascinating family, really. And great, unlike the term landlords in Ireland, which always brings, my God, could bring tears or sadness or horror to anyone's eyes. The tailors were quite unique. Because they were farmers, they encouraged their tenants to always moving things forward, always creative, always bringing in the best machinery, encouraging the best practices on the farm and draining and all of that. So, they have an amazing standing still in the cabin, like Headford House in Kells, of course. And this would have been the hunting lodge of Headford House. Around this house, we have 1,000 acres of wood, which is the old deer park, which is owned by the National Forest at the moment. They own the National Forest, so it's open to the public. And people can come down the whole lakefront on the property and come in the front and walk around. We don't lock the place up. I really like people. Nature is for everybody. I'm a custodian of it when I'm here, that's all. I'm planting trees, I'm putting in hedges, I'm draining the place. I'm carrying on amazing work that was done 100 years ago and 50 years ago. I'm just another person, the custodian of it, and another person will come after me. And I've been at it for 7 years. It's a real labor of love. My father was a planter of trees. My grandfathers planted trees, and I didn't want to be the one who never planted trees. So, I think you should do something useful with your life. It's not all about celebrity. It's about leaving something behind for the next generation. Virginia Park Lodge, we've completely refurbished the house. Colfax and Fowler was involved from London. It's very special. It's not, we didn't turn it into a museum piece. I wanted to feel that it's a very lived in. I'll give you an idea. I don't know, can you see the feeling? It's a hunting lodge. We have a lake. Big fires. This is just in the back here, So, and this is just the entrance hall area. So it's really special because, we've shepherd's huts here, 12 of them from Blackdown and Suffolk. So the whole place feels very, very, it's almost like a well-being. You come here, you feel, I came here 3 weeks ago. I was a bit stressed out. I'd done my isolation for 19 days, Germans say 19 days. I'd done my 19 days down in the Hook. I came in from Pembroke to Rosslare. I went to a little cottage down in the Hook Peninsula, stayed there for 3 weeks, had a couple of bottles of wine, maybe every few days, of course. And then I came up to Virginia. And when I came in the front gates, I have to tell you, it's just everything just started to just disappear. I'm back in fighting form. I feel the mojo is coming back to us. Maybe our customers are not in Central London. Central London, by the way, is dead.
Really?
It's dead. Piccadilly, Mayfair. You can go up Regent Street. You might meet 100 people even on a busy day. You might or you might meet nobody at 9:30 in the morning. Wow. Coffee shops are still not open. Restaurants, only a few are open. 8% footfall, in Piccadilly, because we get all the stats from the Crown Estate. 8% footfall last Thursday morning in Central London.
Crazy.
So how do you open a business? How do you open a business on those terms? You just couldn't, because once you turn that key, it's like the luxury ship, you turn on the engines, you turn on the lights, you get the chefs chopping, you get the waiters polishing, and you get the cleaners and housekeepers. All of a sudden, there's no one comes in the door. Yeah. So you're almost safer closed than you are open, that's for sure.
So where did your love of food first originate from?
All chefs talk about their mothers. I know a lot of chefs talk about their mothers in dear terms. My mother was a decent cook. She made bread every day. We made butter. We had eels for breakfast. We had the wild salmon for breakfast. There was brown bread to be had. Sometimes it was very little. There might have been a pot of mince in the winter with some boiled potatoes. Some people get this impression of Michelin stars and chefs feasting on foie gras and truffles. I know what a pot of mince is. I know how to live on very little. And most people in Ireland knows how to live on very little, because we come from an era where sometimes there wasn't a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, even though there might have been a lot of stuff in the fields, that wasn't for us. That was to be sold on to keep the roof over our heads, to pay bills, to pay mortgages, to pay machinery. So, you know what I mean? There were shepherd's pie, cottage pies, meatballs, my God, boiled mince. I honestly, I still look at bolognese rather skeptic to this day, going, God, I had a lot of that in my youth. You know what I mean? Bolognese without the bolognese. You know what I mean? Boiled mince, basically, with seasoning, you know? So I come from humble beginnings. I've worked hard. I've worked my ass off, really, since I'm 14. And everyone says to me, the secret of success. Well, you know, how about putting in 65 hours a week minimum and 16 hours a day every day, 6 days a week? And if a matter of fact, you'd want to be really absolutely very unfortunate not to find success if you put in those hours. So talent and passion is important, but you don't have the work ethic. You don't have the work ethic to get out of your bed in the morning and to put in work. And work shouldn't be a show. Work is pleasure. Absolutely. Find something you love, what you want to do. Every day, there's not enough hours in my day. I just feel I'm so lucky to do what I do. And I'm generous, you know what I mean? I'm not mean. There's so many people mean-spirited and wouldn't give you the time of day. I'm involved. I work with the Irish Youth Foundation in London. I was a trustee. I'm now patron with Darragh O'Brien. And what I've learned with the Irish Youth Foundation over 20 years is we give lots of money into Belfast. We both sides, I'll be honest with you. The Royal Artillery in East Belfast, we made a grant to there last year, you know what I mean, the youth clubs. So we don't differentiate, you know what I mean? Everyone is entitled to a grant. We give grants all over. And, you know, we've been very successful. And even though we won't raise a lot of money this year, we still have enough money in our bank account to last many, many years ahead of us. So 1 year out of 20, well, it's a tough year to get some money in, but at least we still have money to keep giving out. Now, New Horizons were a prime example in King's Cross. And New Horizons, you know, used to be a lot of Irish workers would come over from all over and then end up in New Horizons in King's Cross. You know, it's now full of ex-military on the streets, and it's full of young prisoners that's released with nowhere to go. And, you know, our grants to that charity alone allow debit cards to get accommodation. It allows people to find homes. It allows people to at least breathe for a couple of weeks. So, you know, I've just seen some great things. You know, I think certain parts of your life is for busy beaver, making it all. But there's another part of your life when you have to give plenty back. Yeah. And I'm at that part of my life. I'm 56 years of age. I have a fabulous family. My daughter Jessica, who organised this today, my son Richard, who's running the company, my youngest son Robert, who's basically in hotel business as well. So we're soaked in this business. It's not just something we do. Our fingers are well in the soil of hospitality, and we are probably going through the most difficult time probably they'll ever see, and hopefully we never see something like this ever again. But you know what? This will define us. This year will define most people. Because I didn't want to ask someone to ask me in 2 years' time, Richard, what did you do during that year lockdown? What? Played table football, watched TVs and movies. We've been as busy during lockdown as we were when we opened. But all our energies are directed to better causes, trying to keep our business going forward. And, you know, just looking for the best in a very negative environment. You know what I mean? So I think we all just will be very happy to see this year out. That's for sure.
Now, before we finish, tell us about some of the famous people who you have cooked for. You've cooked for royalty and for the Obamas as well, haven't you?
I'll be honest with you. I cooked for the Queen Mother. But to be honest, the old Queen Mother who passed away a few years ago. I always thought she was good fun. You know, she liked a few glasses and she liked horses and all of that. She liked the pursuits of the country. We've Queen, of course, has dined in our restaurants. No question. The Queen of Denmark, da-di-da-di-da. Everyone comes. You know, I went to Washington to cook for the Obamas a couple of, what was it, 2014, 2015, I forget now which year. So we went to Washington. We had an amazing time, really amazing time. It's called London Calling. I'm going to tell you a quick one. I'd done a dinner in the UN with Angelina Jolie years ago. And the British ambassador in New York invited me over to cook this great feast in the UN in the delegates dining room. Must have been 700 people. So you had to get up on the podium to say, I think I got all this wrong. I've invited an Irishman over to cook this great British dinner for you all tonight. But we have had a good fun. My life straddles London. Part of my life straddles Ireland. I love both places dearly. Everywhere has been really good to me. I love a joke. I love a bit of fun. I'm notorious for you know, I do think comedy of certain description is good. You know what I mean? We must find ourselves having a laugh at ourselves always. And hospitality has allowed me to have some amazing laughs, meet some amazing people. I mean, honestly, I mean, I could, Rihanna doing her private jets and serving food onto them. Only now that I've slowed down and stopped, do you kind of start going click, click, click. God, that was, you know, really? Did we do that? Yeah.
So there must be a book in there somewhere.
Well, the best charity I've ever done was down near Highgrove in south in England. Oh my God, Cotswolds, and I like Highgrove. I think the gardens are amazing. I'll be honest with you, and I like that whole thing of the beauty, natural beauty, and I think Charles has done an amazing job. I'll be honest with you, just encouraging people on that whole organic front. And what I really like about this guy bought me at auction. I gave them a prize. He wrote me a lovely letter, gave him a prize. And I said to him when I got down to the Cotswolds, how much did I go for? And he said, slightly more than the cricket bat. That sums up fun. You understand?
Exactly.
If I knew that, I would send you the check. You know? So give, keep giving, don't stop giving. And giving is not about me asking you to give. Giving is about me giving as well. And we've given plenty. We'll carry on giving more. And it's a beautiful time for NHS now to really up north, to really, you know, go. I mean, come on, 90 grand. Someone wants to buy someone a prize. Buy a ticket. Yeah. Buy a ticket. You win, you win. And if you win, you'll be giving it to an NHS person anyway. So just buy a ticket, you know, and give it to someone that you love or who have looked after you when you were ill. Give it to them. Thank you very much.
So they've got until the 28th of July, haven't they, to enter this fabulous competition?
28th of July. I'd like to get it to the 38,000. We're on 32 at the moment. We have very little to go, and off we go. And by the way, thank you very much for giving me the time to promote this as well. It's really important. I think it's really important that everyone has a kind of a bite of what's on offer. And when I'm saying to you what's on offer is something really, really special, it really is.
Richard, great talking to you.
Listen, thank you very much for having me on. You keep well.
Thank you.